Just me and you. Tell me, Chicky, what you gonna do? Hey!
You may have noticed, as I have, that the world is changing faster and faster and faster. Each new development is bigger, closer together, and more disruptive. They also bring good things, so there are many things I don't complain about. Big changes in technology have been a boon for me in a lot of ways. I remember when I still wore eyeglasses, I had really heavy, thick lenses. And not only did it make people look at me funny because they were very nerd glasses, but also they were literally made of glass, the lenses, and they were very heavy. And then there was a plastic frame that was required to hold the lenses in. So it was like having a pair of giant safety goggles on my face, and they slid down my nose constantly. When playing sports unwillingly at school, I was forced to wear a black elastic band around the back of my head to keep my glasses from flying off. I used to joke and say when I was a young adult that maybe I should just have a little notch cut in my nose, down from where my nose joins my face. I have a surgeon make a little slot in the bone there, and then it would heal over, and then my glasses would just sit there. Sometime when I was a young adult, they had a huge change in technology and they could make the lenses out of a lightweight material, which meant that I could have wire-rimmed glasses, and then suddenly I had glasses that weighed a third or a fourth of what they had weighed before, light as a feather, and they didn't have the big wide edges to the lenses anymore. People used to say like the bottom of a pop bottle. And heaven knows what I would have done during the pandemic if delivery services weren't available to order things on the computer and have them brought to our house. People used to say when the personal computer first came out that one of the things you would be able to do was place an order for groceries and have them delivered. And I didn't even see what the point of that would be that much. It seemed odd and kind of Jetsons-like. And now I think, oh my gosh, what would I have done without that? This is all by way of making peace with the end of a couple of little rituals, which have been very centering for me and so embedded in my adult life, it's hard to think about not being able to do them anymore. The first one is using a legal pad to do my monthly accounting. I do go on the bank website and look at my online account and switch money back and forth between checking and savings, and I use PayPal. I have various ways that I use money and the computer together. But as far as keeping track of things, trying to look at the bank statement online or make payments online confuses me. In part because I went to school and learned to read in the very early 1960s, and my generation is a left to right line reader. We aren't like modern young adults who grew up looking at computer screens and whose eyes search the entire visual field and find the most important information. I learned to read top to bottom, left to right. Also, the people who design computer screens and who organize information on computers gather the information together in a way that makes sense for them, not a way that makes sense for me. And of course, with bank, you can go on the site and you can do some filters. So if you want to find your cleared checks or deposits, you can hop through 4 or 5 menus and eventually you will get there. But they've recently redesigned the bank website again, and I'm telling you, I struggle to find the place where I simply can see my checking account in any order. There are all kinds of ads for mortgages and getting a loan to buy a boat and things like that, none of which are applicable to me. And then there's so much information, I assume that maybe people are holding a smartphone, even though this isn't the mobile app, this is the computer app, but that mentality anyway, and that people just want to quickly stab their finger, find the thing they want to do right now, and bang, do it right now. I remember seeing a comedian on television, and he was talking about the invention of the ATM and how he had become a jittery, impatient guy in front of the cash machine, and how at first it had seemed to him like it was magic. He did not have to go and stand in line in the bank and wait and wait and wait and wait and shuffle forward, and each person got 5 minutes or longer with the teller, and then eventually they said, "May I help you?" And you stepped up to the window and then explained your whole thing, and while other people behind you seethed because you were taking too long at the window. And then now he was saying the ATM gives him his money in a minute, and that he's already getting frustrated at 30 seconds and saying, "Come on," and kind of hopping up and down. There are rare moments when I need to open my bank account and just make absolutely sure, like if I think I had dropped my debit card and I want to make sure somebody didn't find it and use it to buy hundreds of dollars worth of things. Of course, I want to look right away. Of course, I want to go kind of quickly. But most of the time, I'm not in a huge rush when I want to look at my finances once a month. I want to get it over with. I don't enjoy it at all, and I'm very pleased when I get the process done. But most of the time, I just take some time and sort it all out and then get clear in my mind. And I need some time and some space. And also, I need to order the information that I'm seeing in a way that my brain can understand. When I was 30 or 31, someone finally taught me how to balance my checkbook. I had been shown any number of times by bank people and accountancy kind of people, and they would show me how they did it. And there was even a worksheet thing on the back of the bank statement that was supposed to help you be able to balance it. And I would always come out, either having 3 cents or $3 million. And I would think I've done something wrong again. And finally, someone kind said to me, "Okay, first thing you do is you reconcile it by figuring out what have you spent that the bank doesn't know about? Where have you written checks or made arrangements for people to take money directly out of the bank that the bank doesn't know?" And then I would say, "Oh, right. So they are saying here I have $812, but I've really written $500 worth of checks. So I really have $312 that the bank hasn't updated yet." And that made sense to me, right? So when I'm doing my monthly accounting, I use a yellow legal pad. I flip to the next clean page, write the month and year at the top. And then I have various places on the page where I note things in the area of the page that make sense to me. I have a few credit cards that I keep at a zero balance and I use once in a while so that I'll have available credit. But most of the time they have a balance of zero. So I have a place where I write a little nickname for the card or something and a little note that it has a zero balance. There's another place where the contributions I make to our household account are put there. And then along the right side of the page going down, I do kind of an old-fashioned checkbook register. So I put in the money that I have or the money I expect to have, and then I subtract the bills. And next to these, I have room and time to write the payment, the name of the person I'm paying or the company I'm paying, the confirmation number for the payment if I paid online, and then various notations like this is $100 and not $200 because I paid the other 100 last month or whatever it is. Or I think that this was $70. I need to go back and check or whatever. So it's really comfortable for me to know that I've got all these notations, and then I double check my math and everything at the end, and then I figure out what I've got left after I've paid the bills. And then if I want to know how much money I have left at the end of the month, rather than looking at this confusing website that has all these, pulsating and exciting opportunities for me with money markets or flex loans or whatever, I can just look at the piece of paper and I know how much I've got. Following the yellow pad ritual is another mini ritual, which is paying the utility bills with a check. You can pay online, and I have paid online. but for some reason I find it comforting, centering, organized in my mind, able to work out things better when I do it with paper. So after I've done the legal pad thing and I've got the little area on my page that tells about household expenses and stuff like that, I'll bring that into the dining room table usually, and I will bring the gas and the electric, the cable, and the water bill in. And I have a book of stamps I get at the grocery store, and I take a moment to open each of the utility bills and examine it and figure out if we are, well, right now we're in one of those hyperinflation spirals up. So it's always sticker shock when I open the energy bills. We're trying really hard to conserve energy, but the costs are spiraling for us and for everyone. So after I have a little bit of a fainting spell, I figure out if we're paying all of the bill or if we're paying most of the bill. They actually charge a $15 fee for you to pay your property tax online, and it costs nothing to send them a check. So, of course, that's what we do. But I would imagine the time will come when it will go the other way around. Perhaps not in Maine, where I live, because we have a very big percentage of the population who are elders. So some of us in my age bracket are checkbook. If you go a bit up north, you're going to find people who would hope to still trade some potatoes to settle their bill. So I don't think Maine's going to change that fast, but other places for sure. And most of the things that are not property tax, I suspect there's going to be a $5 stinger fee for me to pay with a check, and then I'm going to have to do everything online. And I could still use the legal pad and I'll adapt some way. But each time I write a check, I think this might be the last one. I might get a letter telling me that it's changing.